The following program is a SUTV student production. The views expressed are not necessarily those of Salisbury University, the University System of Maryland, its regents, administration, officers, employees, or representatives.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. This is SUTalk. It's a show where you guys send in any questions about anything, through our Twitter page, Facebook page, what else?
Gmail, and then
everything.
Yeah.
And I'm Carlos Vidas.
I'm Madeline Ciso.
I'm Philippe Creighton.
And I'm Amir Carter.
Okay, does anybody want to start? Who wants to do the honors?
Sure.
Hold on, we must say this is the first one.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm pretty excited.
yes.
Okay.
Don't you have some kind of music, a little intro music to get us started?
I don't know. The final countdown.
Final countdown. All right.
Okay. Let's just start off here.
Okay,
hold on.
let's see.
It's a long one.
Okay, here, let's see. Let me grab it. Okay. Okay, let me see. It says, what do you think is the value of education and its sole purpose? Should education just be facts, numbers, and testing, or should it be diverse and just meant to fill your knowledge and allow you to study what you want and choose your own curriculum? Well, first, what I would say is like education. Like I think there's I don't know how to say it. Like a lot of value into it, I guess. Like this, to me, it's very important, and I see it like, I guess it's what makes our society like expand. I guess so. I guess you could say it that way, and I just like I feel that education should only be like to fill your knowledge and allow you to choose what you want to teach. Because I've had teachers in the past that they just did facts and like, oh, this is what you gotta remember, and
Yeah, it's just
And-
a memory
those
test.
teachers.
It's
It's
just
a
a
memory
big,
test.
long
Yeah,
memory
exactly.
test, the final exam.
yeah.
But I think I kind of like how our system is set up now, where in like elementary, middle, and high school, you're kind of taught the basics of everything. You're taught the basics of chemistry. You're taught the basics of math. Now, to a certain extent, like you don't need calculus necessarily.
Oh man, you're gonna have some math students. Let me just say,
Yeah.
just knocking at your
Yeah,
door
some
saying,
math
"Well,
students
wait."
are gonna hate me, but but no, and I mean, but in college it's kind of nice because that way you can kind of be your own
Yeah.
student. And I mean, I'm actually working on making an IDIS major, which if
Wait,
you don't
what
know,
is it?
yeah, it's basically just creating your own major where you set your goals and basically just create your own. I'm doing psychology, philosophy, and theater, so that's an interesting combination. And so, I mean, it's kind of cool to like be able to come out at the end of it with something that is very unique. Which is kinda cool.
I'd have to say, one, I wish I knew about that crazy custom track, because I would have done some philosophy and art myself. But I don't know, I guess from a business background, I'd have to say that as of now, like I think the education is completely almost a waste of time, except for kids that don't have discipline, really, that like need that structure for certain majors. Now that like I'm not the all or nothing type, but I mean like certain majors you got to go to school, like science, you need to learn how to be a
Pharmacy.
scientist, nursing,
Yeah.
like
You need
some
to know
things
these
you need
facts
to,
and stuff
but
like that.
but like business school, art school, like honestly, and like sorry if you're gonna whatever that word is, like don't beat me up for this, but like I feel like you just need to actually go do it. You need to go out in the real world. You need to
Exactly.
it's all about the experience.
Yeah.
And, like
Yeah, because I'm a secondary ed, I want to be a teacher. And so right now what my teacher did, well, in two of my classes, we have to like volunteer at one of the schools. So I volunteer in Bennett Middle. So what they want to do is like they want you to experience, and like for a teacher, like I guess knowing facts and stuff like that is good, but like you gotta know like what's out there and like
Yeah, and
What-
how to be a
what-
person.
Yeah,
Because
how
if
to
you're a
be a
teacher,
person.
then you're dealing with kids.
yeah. So that's why they have to
Yeah.
do
It's
like
like
you were
how will
saying,
you
so,
react?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also figure out what you like about it. Like,
Yeah.
actually experience it, learning about it. Like, okay, this is definitely what
Yeah,
I do,
that's-
and I can work hard. on
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
because then you'll know like if you like it or not. Because that's what. Because I know some schools do it like on your senior year. I'm like, and then some students have said, okay, I can't work with children. It's like, well, I should have done it earlier. So I guess
Right?
Yeah.
that's the good thing about
Yeah.
our school, that they put us on the like the first year.
Yeah, that's why I don't like how they like the school internships are junior and senior year. That's the only time that a lot of programs let you do that kind of stuff. But well, then you find out about like summer jobs. Like my interest in gerontology, which if you don't know is study of aging, it spawned from me volunteering at a nursing home for 2 years. And I mean, now I kind of want to do it, and I actually beat out basically my entire department in just basic knowledge. It was
Well,
always
see?
interesting.
Look at that. You got to do
Which
sometimes.
camera?
Sometimes you
Which
just
camera?
need to do it. Sorry, Nike, but
How about then? Why don't we start with another question then?
Yeah.
We've kind of been
Honors?
sure. Why not? Let's see
Ooh.
here.
Let's see.
this is getting awfully deep, by the way.
Yeah,
For,
it still gets really
for a
Oh
weekday.
yeah. Try this one. Do you think technology is ruining and making our society lazy, or is it improving us and making us smarter?
Oh my goodness, what is it with all these
Yeah.
deep questions
well,
right
so
now?
you think about it, if it weren't for technology, like we wouldn't be doing this show right now. Like
We would be outside
Yeah,
in
and
the
I-
sun
Yeah, and I
at
agree
the
at some
beach.
Burning.
like, to some degree. I agree. Like it's definitely like helped us a lot, and I'm sure like it shows that how smarter we got. Because I think I don't know what they call it, but there's like a curve that shows like, over the years.
Yeah, like
that-
the invention curve
yeah,
or
that
something
now
like
we've
that.
gotten
It's like
a lot smarter. But I also feel that it's making us a bit lazier too. Like with spell check and stuff like that. Like we forget how to write. But I think I agree that it's definitely good. Like
I feel like it's almost like to a point lazy, but at the same time, it's almost like when it's not, it's like laziness has transcended. It's just like we're so busy, like there's so much going on. Like you have a cell phone, people are texting, emailing it, you're checking your Facebook. Like there's so much going on that we do. It's hard to commit and fully dedicate yourself to one thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
people are like, oh, they're lazy, but it's just like, dude, I've got so much going on.
I just want to take a break.
And
And also,
technology.
yeah, and also I think like for a lot of people, if the technology was taken away, they'd still be lazy just doing
Yeah,
something
exactly.
else. Like we'd just be sitting out in the quad, just lying about just
Chewing some corn. Just like-
knitting, different things like that. I mean, but at the same time, technology is definitely helping. Like I'm a horrible speller naturally. From the time I was born, I was always a horrible speller. I still can't spell. I have trouble with beautiful sometimes. Like I am the worst speller
Vacation.
you will ever meet.
Beautiful from watching Bruce Almighty.
Never.
That helped me.
Oh wait,
Bruce Almighty.
that's
Wait,
the
that's with Jim Carrey one.
Yeah,
where
Jim
where
Carrey.
he's
Jim
like,
Carrey one. Yeah,
Is
yeah.
it when he's like God or whatever?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yep.
Every
Oh.
time I gotta write beautiful, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and you'll say
Carrey.
like Wednesday when you write Wednesday and different things like that.
But
Yeah.
I think like with technology, I mean in my communications class, we're reading a book by Stephen Johnson called Everything Bad is Good for You. And he teaches you that you learn scientific method from video games. When you play Pac-Man, you study the patterns and you do trial and error to get to the things. So we're learning things.
Yeah,
We just
exactly.
don't know it. So
Yeah.
everybody looks at it.
Yeah,
we're
it's
learning
like-
stuff.
Yeah, and like
Then
you
we
have
get
the whole like We Fit, and you have like those
Right.
exercise games. Now, whether or not the exercise is actually that great for you, but it gets people who maybe necessarily can't be as active. Like at my nursing home, we had them playing Wii bowling all the time because the Wii remote is a lot lighter than a 10-pound bowling ball. So it's a lot
So-
easier, and it's just they still had competitions and all that stuff. It's a lot
I've
of
seen
fun.
a lot of competitive Wii games.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter
Wii
how old you
tournaments.
are.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
real.
Yeah.
So what's your final call then? Has it made us more lazy, or has it just something else?
I think.
I think it's a little bit of both. Like, yes, I would much rather be watching TV than, I don't know, going to the gym 6 times a day, or I see crazy people doing all sorts of crazy things. But then it's like, it's better than what other things that we could end up doing.
Yeah, and I also think. Sorry.
Oh no, you go, man.
Okay, what I was gonna say is like, well, yeah, technology is good for today because we live in such a like, our society is so like fast-paced. Like we like, and I think like cell phones and stuff like that helps us like, not kind of slow down, but kind of keep up with like what we're doing every day. Cause, yeah, if you see what like today compared to like this like 60 years ago, whatever, when people had more time. Right now, like we're more
Yeah, it's-
fast-paced and like
class
like we
8
don't
to 5,
yeah we
rehearsal
don't have
from
that
7
many
to 10,
yeah that much time
and
to do
schoolwork
stuff,
from
yeah.
4 to 2 in the
You guys are
morning.
crazies.
Yeah, so we just
You
gotta
know what?
keep up.
You guys can like your technology. I'm gonna be a tech hater. I personally hate it and wish I never missed it. Because I would much rather, check this out, I would rather be spending my like 20 years not paying for education, like go own a farm, make a house, go on some adventures. I'd much rather do that, honestly. And at the end of the day, it's just like, there's no like rich or poor, like everyone's just kind of the same,
It definitely
At least in my head. Sorry.
It definitely pays off though to like take your time away from technology. Like I went on the Algonquin trip where no cell phones, no iPods, no nothing, and like we couldn't take showers. It was disgusting.
nice. Yes.
And there was the good old-fashioned slammer, aka a hole in the ground. That was fun.
All right,
But yeah,
some
so
technology,
like,
maybe.
yeah, so like obviously electric wheelchairs.
Yeah, that's what
and-
I was gonna say. Like on a disabled person's point of view, like me, technology is actually a lot helpful. Like this wheelchair. Sorry. Sorry, I almost lost my voice right there. What was I gonna say? Yeah, like the wheelchair and stuff like that. That's how I get around, and like stuff that like lifts to help me get into bed and stuff like that, and like medical stuff. To me, that's like important. So like technology on that side is good for me. Like
Yeah.
so that could be, I guess, an argument. Well, depending on like on my point of view, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's why we have this show.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh,
You wanna go?
That's on this side of the table. All right, man.
You wanna go over there?
All right, enough of these deep questions. I need
Okay,
some
let's see.
flavor.
Let's find something fun.
Hopefully this
What,
is
like-
fun. Let's go.
Watching
Oh my
What
gosh.
is it?
You know-
Just read it. If not, we'll just skip it and we'll go to
Do you
next.
think we have natural rights?
Oh,
yes.
okay.
How
Dear
so?
God.
Wow, that's not deep at all.
Okay, you want to switch it?
No,
no,
switch
Okay,
on
who
the
wants to
show.
go first?
That was a joke.
You want to go first, Amir? Who wants to go first?
Of course he's gonna go. He has.
Yeah, you got
I
the.
got
We just got a huge argument about this earlier.
It's philosophy,
Do you
exactly.
think we- Do you think we have natural rights? Yes. I have the right to be the greatest person on the planet.
How so? Like that's a question. Like I guess a lot of philosophers ask. How so? Like, how can you back that up? Like because sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But like in my history class, we were talking about like natural rights. Like we spent quite a while talking about natural rights, and then we got the teacher showed us. My professor showed us this video from a guy called George Carlin. I think
Oh,
the
yeah,
comedian
yeah, George
and
Carlin.
and critic. He showed us like one of his videos, one of his like comedy routines, and he talked about like, how, like, cause he's an atheist, and he explains like how like, cause people call him God-given rights, and he said how can you like, if there's a God, how come we have like everybody has like different rights? Like we have how many? We have like 10 in our Bill of Rights, I think. I don't know how many, but he said in England it's 13. In
Saudi
Germany,
Arabia, women can't even drive.
yeah, so it's like,
just
so he's
recently.
basically saying how like, if, and I'm not trying to get religious here or anything like that, but he said, or atheist, I don't know what you want to call it, but he said like, how could a God like, or like to see bad at math or whatever, that why did he make like each country have like certain amounts? And he said, oh, and he also forgot about slavery. And he said, then he also like might have screwed up on our Bill of Rights because we've like, or in the Constitution that we have to amend it like I don't know how many times he said, like a bunch of times. So it's like, how could like do we really have natural rights, or is it more a privilege? Like is it a human invention, like a privilege? Like I don't like that's the argument. Like
I feel like it's not an argument though. It's really obvious that there's just. I mean, there are no such thing as natural rights. He's just his like that whole thing was just pointing out the inconsistency and people's perception of like, oh, we must have rights. Like, oh, there's a Bill of Rights. Like, no, like you have, the only thing that you have a right to is dying. Like when you are alive, you have a right to die, and you will. And like like all these other things they're all matters of perception, like you said. And other countries, they don't have rights. Here we have the illusion of rights, and we still have some. But,
Yeah, like we're allowed to have this show, do whatever, basically doing.
As long as we abide by certain criteria, it's just like.
Yeah, that's true. That is
Some
very
things
true.
that we find perfectly fine and are good, we have to have. Other countries look at us like, oh my God, they're crazy. Why
Yeah.
do they let their people do that?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's just
Yeah.
is it Finland? I don't know, or Switzerland? I don't know. They only have like 6 rights in their Bill of Rights. I think it is only 6.
They're-
And like in the Middle East or whatever, I don't know. Like there aren't any rights.
I feel like it's just like the only one that no one seems to abide by is like you have a right to govern yourself. You don't need to follow the rules of anyone. Like there's nothing that.
Yeah, we keep talking about this in our philosophy class because me and Amir are in the same philosophy class. Basically, if you wanted to not be governed by anybody, there's nowhere for you to go. You got the water. That's where you go. But you eventually have to go to some country to go get help when your engine catches fire or whatever. So it's kind of funny how for the people who want to govern themselves, there is no place for them to go except for the moon and the ocean. Take your pick.
And then they also talked about how naturally as humans, just the way we act, they said even if we're in a place where there's no state and it's just us 4 on the
Yes.
island, they said deep down inside of us, we're naturally going to create a system of how to run our lives.
Because then we'd rather not live in a society where I'd kill you just to steal your coconuts, and then
Right.
he'd try to kill me.
We don't want to do
and then-
survival of the fittest. We want to work together to build up a society.
Yeah.
together, and then that brings them to the state.
Yeah, I said because we're like, maybe because it's philosopher. I said because we're like, us as human beings, we like to have control. Is it
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's why we? I guess that's why we were basically saying like because we like to have control. We
I
either way, we're still gonna end up having rules. And
Because
all
with
that.
control,
Well, it
we have
almost-
safety.
It almost seems like we don't want to have control because like we want to like let someone else do something now.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like
and-
I'd
and-
much rather.
Talk about deepness.
Well,
Yeah,
okay,
like, no,
but
now
very
we gotta
but very recently, that whole like letting somebody else handle it has not ended up very well. with
Yeah,
the whole
like
government
I mean,
shutdown.
yeah, the government shut down and that stuff. Like, and you know what bothers me? And another my teacher today was like, people complain like, oh, like it's Obama's fault, or it's the Republicans, or it's the Democrats. But like in reality, if you think about it, it's the people who put him
Elected
in.
the person.
So it's not their fault. It's actually the people who voted for them fault. Like you have the power. Like you vote, your vote like could cause them to lose or win. So it's like you shouldn't really like blame the politicians. I know like we made him in charge, and of course like we picked him because we feel like
But
they're
then-
the most competent. But then we're the ones who like put him in office. So
But then you get into the whole thing of like politicians, they make. I love the phrase Mary Poppins says, it's a pie crust promise, easily made, easily broken. And I think that's what a lot of our politicians do, is they make pie crust promises,
And then, yeah.
but then they're like, oh, crud, I have to be reelected next term. Let me do what everybody wants, so
And I-
everybody elects, or do what some Republicans want, some Democrats want. That way I get reelected and I still get a paycheck
That's
from
pretty
this
much-
book
okay.
deal or from this other
okay.
thing.
Wow.
So now I see what you guys meant. Okay, so it's like it's kind of like fake. I guess you're saying like they're saying they're gonna do this and they don't end up doing it. They just wanna.
Hey man, it's
Okay.
all about the money.
I
And
think, yeah,
with
I think-
that lesson, the end of natural rights, because this is the only natural right that matters to people. So, all right, our first not deep
Let's
question.
hope not.
Oh, well, it's upside down.
Is there another one?
All right, this is actually so deep that it's going to seem simple. If you could describe college life in one word, what would it be? Whew, well,
You go first, Sweet.
all right, well, this, well, first of all, this kind of ties in with what I'm trying to currently do. I'm currently trying to start my own religion. I was thinking about becoming an ordained minister to make some side money, and because why not? You can do it through like the Universal World Church or something. And it's recognized by the government. But anyway, the religion I was going to start is hooliganism, and that is how I would describe college.
I think it's self-discovery. Because honestly, like, I mean, I left the country for the first time because of college. I mean, this is the longest I've ever been away from home. Before this, the longest time I was away from home was for 5 days with a best friend and her mom that I've basically grown up with. They're like my family. So like, this is the first time where I've had to function on my own. And even still, I have those ties. Like, my mother still calls me. She sent me a birthday present yesterday.
Never
so like,
changes.
yeah. But then it's also when you can be a hooligan as much as you want. You can learn different things about yourself in college that when you're not in college, you can't really learn about yourself, which I find interesting.
I mean, I think if I'd say the word interesting, because I mean, for me, I live in Maryland, but I'm in Southern Maryland, Waldorf, and that's 2 hours and 30 minutes away.
Yeah, I'm from
it's
Baltimore
a whole
County,
different-
so-
yeah, it's like a whole different area to me. Like college, usually when you see a squirrel walking around, they're running up. In college, they're like beside you on the bench eating nuts. Like, hey man, what's up? How you doing? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, the squirrels here
and
actually
then
are
you're
not
meeting
afraid
people
of-
from
Yeah.
all over the place, or people that you've never seen
Australia,
before, but you live in the
Germany.
same place. So
Yeah.
college, just so many things you can do, so many places where you can get involved, and you're meeting some of the people that just want to meet you too. This is the only place where you can ask, hey, where do you live? And it's
Yeah,
not
like-
creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta.
Okay, well,
I wouldn't
And-
suggest.
One of my theater professors said that this is the only state he's ever been in where people address what county they're from. It's like, I'm from Baltimore County, you're from Waldorf. Nobody says, oh yeah, I'm from around Baltimore. Oh, I'm from around. If you're in Maryland, nobody says that. Everybody's like, I'm from PC. I'm from Princess Anne. I'm from all sorts of places. Everybody just says their county. Nobody says
Yeah.
their
I feel
city.
like I've gotten a geography lesson right now.
Yeah, and I think the word that I would use like growth, like in like I guess growth like you know what I mean like I would say mentally growth like you're learning to like be independent and sort of like you are your own person now, like you don't have your parents telling you, oh, this is what you have to do and this is what you have. It's like yourself. So you're basically saying, you know, you have. But my teacher said, you like it's not. It shouldn't be called time management. It should be self management, like with like knowing the time and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think you learn to do that, and I think that's something I like kind of discovered that it has to be done because the first week there was a session I had to go to. That my professor said you had to go, and I absolutely forgot it. And luckily he reminded me. He was nice about it. He was like, "Hey, why don't you go to this other one?" I was like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta like get my time like straight and stuff like that." So that's something I guess like growing up, having your own like schedule and
yeah, because when you were in high school, you kind of now necessarily you didn't have a set schedule, but you kind of did. You knew that from like 8 to 2, I'm in school. 2 to 4, I'm at practice.
Whoa! Come on, let's be serious. Which one of us didn't break the rules of high school? Come on now, let's be serious. We're all Salisbury kids here. You know, we have a Salisbury audience. We can be serious with everyone now.
Yeah.
We skipped a few classes.
I actually never skipped a class.
Hey, you know, I might have skipped a math or two.
The only time I skipped a class was when it was the day or our shows went Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Those were our theater shows. So it was a really long, stressful show. So our theater teacher let us come to the first theater class and sleep through it. Like we just all laid out on the stage, fell asleep, didn't care, and then we got up for the next theater class. So that was the only time I actually quote unquote skipped class.
So now every time I go to a theater like show, I'm just gonna be like, you know what? I bet they're sleeping behind the stage right now. You know, like right behind the curtain, sleeping.
For me,
Sleeping in the dressing
I was
room.
good. I went to class. Only time I skipped class was on accident because it was texting. It was testing in the computer lab. And they're like, oh, we're in this room, and I couldn't find the room. So I was really taking the tour to school for the full like an hour and 30 minutes of class. So I didn't really skip. Or like
It was just by accident.
I just felt like I needed some time to enjoy the campus.
I love it when teachers will like skip your class. Like I had teachers that one day just flat out didn't show up to class. Substitute wasn't there. We just sat around and just
It
like
only gets
really-
better because now that we're in this growth stage where things are interesting and full of self-discovery, you can be a hooligan and skip class without any repercussions. Can we have another question?
Sure.
Look at this.
Okay, let's see if we can.
Come on, we
get-
need a fun one.
Let's see
Let's
here.
see.
Okay, this one is actually kind of fun. Who were your high school crushes? Any current crushes? Did you ever tell them? Are you going to tell your current crush?
Okay, should I start? Can I start?
Sure,
Yeah,
why
'cause
not?
I'm that idiot that, in high school always had like, I think every year throughout high school I had a crush. It was just that like me. But I think the first one, like, I'm actually like really told them, like in like, so the one that I really can remember was 10th grade. I'm not gonna say her last name, just Mackenzie, who turned out to be, can I cuss in here? I can't cuss, can I?
You can, no, of course
Okay.
not, man.
It's
Come on
FCC.
now. This is a Sunday show.
Right.
Just kidding, I hope not.
Okay, can I? Okay. Should I say? Okay.
I don't think
No,
so.
Okay.
Yeah, just keep it PG for now.
Okay, fine. She was a real, B. I don't know. She was sweet at first, and like I told her, I was like, and I think from then I learned I was like, okay, when you tell a girl, don't tell her, oh, all of these like flowery kind of stuff. And I told her, and I was like, okay, I'm not doing that again. And like I kind of scared her. And then in 11th grade, I got this other girl. I had a crush on this other girl. And it's like, she was, she was very hot and stuff, but like.
You kids.
Yeah,
They're
that was
crushing.
Oh yeah,
Right now I have a current crush, but I don't really want to get into that stuff.
yeah. There's that whole Salisbury Crush Facebook page.
Oh,
Yeah,
God,
exactly.
I got invited to that.
You
Why?
You haven't gotten
Like,
into that yet?
Ew. Why would, dude? You don't need
It's
like.
it's hysterical looking at them and just
Oh.
like reading through some of
It's
them.
not. I'm scared I'm gonna see some of my friends on there, and then I'm just gonna make fun of them eternally. Like not to detract from this, but the whole online like crush and stuff. Ugh. But anyway, crushes. I think it was your turn now. I think you had a nice, compelling crush story for us.
God. Well, actually, I'm still dating my crush right now.
You are? You
I got game. I know how to treat these females out here.
You feel okay? You said females.
No. So yeah, you start off being smart, being friends, being nice.
Sort of like
You
growing.
might take them out to the movies, take them to McDonald's, let them supersize it.
Supersize it.
Yeah,
you know what
extra
I mean.
cheese.
I like it.
Respect.
I like it, man. I like that. You gotta add the condiments, man. You can't
Oh
be
yeah,
condiments.
can't be condiments.
I'm gonna have to say, I think it's funny. I don't know. I really just don't do anything. It's just like I feel like for me, it's like a spontaneous thing. It's all part of like, for me, like the adventure. Like, I've had several crushes along the way, and good times, some not so good, some whatever. But I'd say as of now, I currently am in love with my Salisbury University school. Yeah, student pride right here. Yes.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just trying to get it.
Yeah.
But no.
But I've always had many a crush, and it's been kind of ridiculous. And people, they'd find out and kind of tease me about it and different things like that. And I remember in 7th grade, I was in my World Civilizations class, and I had a crush on a kid in the class, and his best friend knew. So he decides to come over and tell me, yo, Madeline, he told me he liked you in this note. And so I'm like, okay, bring me the note. And I knew that he would make fun of me for it. So I took the note and I tore it up without even looking at it. I just tore it up. But then I was sitting in class and I'm like, I actually want to take a peek at this. So I folded it back together in my desk and just and then I did from the 7th grade perspective, as much handwriting analysis as you could. And I noticed that the A's under the guy that I liked name were the same as the other guy, so I just knew it was completely fake. And then we just joked around. It's fun.
You remind me of one of those people that grow up to be one of those CSI forensic oh man, the handwriting doesn't match.
Yeah,
Are you cheating on me? This text message. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but I actually did take forensics, and that was also one of my many interests.
Beware.
Don't worry, she's gonna find out. Yeah, so that girl that I told you, Mackenzie, I did. So what I did, when I told her, I had a crush and stuff like that, I guess you could say I wrote her a poem or whatever.
Oh no.
No, it's so I didn't. I said at the end, I ended it with you secret admirer. So I gave it to her. I didn't give it to her. I got to class early and just put it on her desk. And then they got it, and she read it, and I was like, who's this? And then she, the whole class, everyone was like, who is this? And I'm like, who is this? They were asking all the guys, can you please write down your thing? And I was gonna say, I don't know, I don't want to tell her today. I want to tell her another day. And I was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna be a man. I told her, just oh, that's so sweet. And then afterwards, she was like,
you can never tell him, man.
Yeah, her friends were teasing me, and they were like,
dude, it's all about the chase, man. Dude,
I was like, okay, never mind.
Many a husband.
Yeah, I learned from that.
Yeah.
No, man, honest, many a husband needs to listen. If there are any husbands, also, you should not probably be watching this. But it's all about the chase. You can never let anyone know. You got to let them tell you, and then you make it. That is the Hooli method.
I just remembered both my parents met in college. They actually met at the University of Delaware.
Aww.
And my dad and I were heading back from visiting a friend of mine in Philly. And we were driving through the University of Delaware campus, and we decided, why don't we just pull over because traffic was getting bad. And we go into this diner. He points over a table in the corner. He's like, that's where I told your mother I didn't want any commitments. We're celebrating our 20th wedding anniversary this year. So, I just find it interesting how so many different kinds of people end up in college, and let alone with the subject of love, because you got some people who are getting married. There's a guy in the tech department who's getting married, and there are couples on campus who have been together 7 years.
You know what? This love thing is kind of creeping me out right now.
Okay, let's change the question.
Let's bring it
back to ours, all right?
Shall we do one more question and then end the show?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds like fun.
Or let's see.
See all this love stuff.
Let's see.
You know.
Oh, okay. Now we got more creepers. It says,
Salisbury.
what are things that others do, say, or wear that turns you on or that attracts you?
All right. Can I?
Who wants to start?
All right, guys. Let's all be serious, guys.
You're-
Come on.
What?
Yoga pants.
Yeah, yellow pants,
Oh, come on.
lingerie.
No, on campus, no. No, honestly, and you know, y'all might laugh at me, but I personally love the fall because I love when girls dress up for the fall. Like, I'm all about the dressing up. Obviously, right now, you know, for those of you who can't see me, I look a mess. But, you know, like, I love the whole, like, scarf, little pea coat, you know, like little, like, goofy hats, and, like, it's adorable, man. I think fall weather, fall fashion. Sorry.
I also have a thing for girls when they wear sundresses. I don't know why. Like in the summer, like I find that attractive. I don't know why.
Well, there you go. What about you, my brother?
The summertime, duh.
Yeah.
Because what does the summertime mean? Less
Skirts.
clothes.
Exactly.
I love this male perspective.
Just to
yeah.
be honest. I mean,
I watch all sorts of weird TV shows, and there was one show, a random fact show or something like that, and there's actually a scientific study that says girls who wear bikinis are more likely to have one-night stands, that sort of thing, but girls who wear one pieces are more likely to end up in relationships because
So we know how to stay away from
you don't expose everything to the first person you meet, and that's.
But if this is on the beach, I don't
Oh
know
my
if I'm
gosh.
looking for love in the beach.
Love,
now.
so,
yeah.
Seems like a wrong place for me.
Yeah, but I've always liked baseball players. I don't know why.
Baseball players?
Yeah, baseball
Whoa,
players.
whoa now. You got your own online dating profile for that, as we've obviously just heard now. Which is what's the screen on that we could reach you by? Oh, this is
All-nighter?
goofy. I love it, man.
Yeah,
Well,
but
guys.
no, like baseball players always been into baseball players for some reason. Don't know why.
maybe because they make the most money.
Yeah.
Maybe
We're doing the
I don't know,
least
'cause-
amount
No, like
of stuff.
no, like back in high
Maybe.
school.
I mean, baseball
All the
players
guys
get
I had
signed for
crushes on in
$200
high school.
million.
were-
Baseball players.
Where's our
Yeah,
sports
there
questions?
was the guy who's at Millersville. I had a crush on him. He's playing baseball. A guy at Penn State. I had a crush on. He's playing baseball. A guy from my middle school. I had a crush on him. He was a
Bryce,
baseball
I'm learning
player.
way too much about you guys today.
I
This
also
is
like-
what I'm realizing.
Probably. But that's
I'm
the
also
whole
into
point.
like athletic girls, like okay. Okay. I ended,
All right.
Well,
okay, that was
We're
weird.
getting-
I ended on like athletic women. Okay. Okay. Well, this was our first show. It's like our pilot. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you guys like it, please send in your questions. As you know, they can be about anything. Weirdest, you
Yeah,
can send
as
them.
you can say.
Yeah, you can.
This is a pilot.
deep philosophical.
So you can
the
send them. We
funniest
send them
thing.
at the beginning. Twitter, Facebook, Gmail.
Yeah, we've got
Um,
SUTalk,
yeah.
Salisbury Talk on Facebook, or Twitter is Salisbury Talk, SUTalk is Twitter, and then salisburytalk@gmail.com. And then
Okay.
this video, if I get access to the file, is going to be uploaded to YouTube as well.
Okay. So I'm Carlos Vides.
I'm Madeline Ciso.
And I'm Philippe Creighton.
And I'm Amir Carter.
Thanks for watching.